Okay. Well, hello and welcome. It's Friday, and I want to know what's on your mind. The show is about real people, real issues, having a real conversation every Friday. Hello and welcome to What's on Your Mind show.
Hi, my name is Latasha Colley, and I live in New York City. Currently, I'm in human resources in the largest public hospital system that's in the country. You probably heard about it with all the COVID going on in New York City Health and Hospitals. And right now, I'm just, taking it day by day, living in COVID.
I hear you. Well, welcome, Latasha. All right, Ashlyn, go ahead.
Hello, I'm Ashlyn Thomason. I am currently in Clover, South Carolina. If you haven't heard of that, that's outside of Rock Hill, South Carolina, in the Charlotte area on the state line. I just finished up my master's in education. I'm looking to be a certified school counselor, and I'm currently just on the job hunt. So, and like Natasha said, just taking it one day at a time with this COVID.
I hear you. Well, welcome, folks. So, you guys know that beauticians and hairstylists have to have a license to do their jobs. So our first question would be, do you think it should be required that the police officers have a specialized license?
I think they should have a license as far as learning how to use a weapon. You're right. Even here in New York City, you 18 years and old, I think it's 21 years and older, and high school diploma. That's it. That's all you need. So anybody can become a police officer in these major cities. So I think they should have a license to learn how to, operate the guns, not just go through the academy. And if they don't have a license, if they don't get a license prior to joining the academy, they shouldn't be in the academy. Just that.
Yeah, totally. What do you think, Ashlyn?
I second that. I just feel like that it's just too free reign, and it needs to be a lot more, just restrictions on it instead of just doing the general, testing and things of that nature. Just so it could be a huge emphasis on, the potential candidates, becoming the police officer. Because like I say, some just go free willy-nilly, and it shouldn't be like that, because a lot of these situations that have been happening, I feel, have come from the lack of training or the lack of licensing.
Right. And since your background is in education, right? You just got a master's in education?
Correct.
What would you think that they could would help educate them further in the process?
They need to get more hands-on training in their school years, not necessarily with the guns, but they need to get a more inside look, because a lot of times students just get the general, understanding, and they don't really dive into the specifics, and those are kind of left out. So throughout their school years, they kind of just have this general knowledge, and then they just kind of go off of what they've heard or what they thought. And then when they get to the actual force, they still kind of go off of what they heard or what they thought instead of actually having that hands-on experience. So the hands-on experience needs to be a bigger, emphasis in the school years.
Right. And what do you think about, either of you, what do you think about the behavioral process? Like I said, here in LA, you just have to be 18. So even the behavior of how to interact with people,
Yeah. I think honestly, at this point, since they're so young, joining the academy, I think to be able to join first, before joining the academy, have to go through something like the National Guards. And that can teach them a lot of things going into the National Guards first and becoming a police officer. So that's like that preliminary, okay, I've done some type of background as far as dealing with helping people, managing behavioral issues and things of that sort. So I think I think that should be the prerequisite of them going into the police academy, is probably doing a year as a National Guard trainee or something. So.
Wow, I love that. That would be awesome. That would give them very, that's amazing. I love that.
And, I'll say this. It won't allow them to go to the Army, the Marines, or Navy, or anything like that, because everybody don't want to join the armed forces.
Right.
As a National Guard, you're still within your community, and get the opportunity to see firsthand what it takes to, patrol and what I can't say what I was going to say, but to patrol a community, anything that's happening in the community that's criminal. Because a lot of times National Guards are called for large scale events as far as disasters and so on and so forth. So they can see firsthand how to operate. And then after that, if they successfully go through National Guard, then they could go on and be a police officer. So
wow, that I've never heard that, but that is absolutely amazing. I would second that vote. We need to get on board with that. That would be truly amazing, because even being in a reservist, I mean, you're coming around all types of people. Amazing how that will just help, jump them forward of dealing with a wide range of people when they go out in those major cities. Wow. I feel that the U.S. government will ever pay reparations to Black Americans to repair the damage caused by the inhumanity of slavery, Jim Crow, and other economic injustices.
Sheesh. Wow.
That's a mouthful, isn't it?
That is a mouthful. It's wow. Like, ugh.
How about in our lifetime? In your lifetime, do you think so? Come on.
In my lifetime, I'm gonna give them the benefit of the doubt, and I would say that they would. But as far as previous generations, no. No way.
So when you say in your lifetime, what makes you feel that they're going to do it?
I just feel that at this particular moment, a lot of things are beginning to be exposed, and we're really starting to figure out how the system has been keeping us enslaved and keeping us controlled.
Yeah.
And a lot of and see, now we're in the information age, so now we're starting to learn how they've been doing, and so now we're starting to get away from that, because we're starting to gain the literacy, gain the information, and now we're starting to go about things differently. So the more and more that we've been exposed to this information, the more and more we've been able to go about change, because of the information that has been presented to us. And just financial literacy, that's one of the major things that we as African Americans are really starting to take seriously, and that we're really starting to kind of plan and go forward about. And we realize that that's a part of the change. So the more financially literate we become, the more and more change that we can come about, because a lot of these laws are based off of taxes, money, et cetera, et cetera. So
right.
Yeah, that's my small take, just to get it going.
Well, that's good. Come on, Latasha.
Well, I listen to a broadcast on the weekends, and that's one of the things that they talk about a lot, about reparations, about how, as African Americans, we are so on this whole symbolism of Black Lives Matter, which I totally agree with Black Lives Matter. Don't get me wrong. But what I mean by symbolism, like, okay, let's stand, let's protest, let's march.
Yeah.
Pay us our money, pay the reparations, because guess what? Every other race, Jewish, Asian, we can go down a list, have been paid reparations.
Yeah.
As far as African Americans who built this country, honestly, I don't think I will see it in my lifetime. We probably wouldn't see it, but I think the generation that's coming behind us, I'm talking about the tech people, these young kids that are 5 years old, that know a phone better than I do, or a computer, they're the ones that's actually going to have the reparations. I really do believe that. I feel honestly that we as African Americans, if we can get out of this symbolism and focus and march and preach about reparations that we're owed, then I think eventually something is going to happen. I just, we're doing the same things we did in the 60s, but this is 2000, this is 2020, a totally different stage and age. So we need to focus on that. Give us our money. This world is built on financial. It's not built on symbolism. It's not built, I hate to say it, statues. It's not built on that. It's built on the people who are winning are the people that got money.
Yes.
Exactly.
It's not the people that's marching. I hate to say it. And please don't beat me up because I'm saying people shouldn't And I'm not saying don't march, but what I'm saying is we need to get out and stop majoring in the minors and start majoring in the majors. And we need reparations. It's just it's no way around that. It's just no way around that. So that's how I feel.
Right.
Yeah. I'm gonna keep it at that.
Yeah. What do you think, as a community of Black Americans, how much the government really should pay?
You know, I don't think there's a number on that, honestly. I really don't believe there's a number on that, because you have to think back on how long we've been in this country. We built this country. So
Yes.
between us and the Indians, you know, I don't think there's a dollar amount on that. I really don't. I think one thing they're going to do is, if it does come to the point that they pay us our reparations, they're going to find a way to say, you can get it, but you can't get it. And honestly,
yeah,
that's just how they work. That's just how, I hate to say it, society works. And I just can't say there's a dollar amount on that. I really can't. It's a lot. I'll tell you that much. Yeah.
Ashlyn, what do you think about that?
I agree. And, you know, just kind of piggybacking off what Latasha said, you know, this world is built off of capitalism.
Mm-hmm.
And like I say, the more and more that we educate ourselves financially, the more and more that this change can really take place. And as far as reparations, they withheld certain information from us so we couldn't pass them, because they know that we built this country. They know that we're the creators, we're the originators. So we possess everything that they want, but the way for them to keep us enslaved and controlled was to withhold certain information so we couldn't surpass them in the one area that it really matters, and that was financially. So the more and more that we continue to, just like I say, keep going about that financial literacy, keep going about us educating ourselves, and the more and more that we keep fighting this thing, then we really have a chance on receiving those reparations. But on the other hand, you can't put an amount on that, because 400 years or plus or even longer, there's no amount. I mean, you know, like I said, there's no like set amount.
Right. So really, they owe us financially, and they still owe us 40 acres and a mule.
Yes.
We never got the land, and we never got the mule. So it's three things that they owe us.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. It's three things.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just unbelievable.
Yeah.
But I hope that we could see it in our lifetime. But I kind of agree with I agree with Latasha that we probably won't in my lifetime, but in the other younger generation that's coming up, that's out there, I really hope that they get it finally. Yeah. And who knows what that number will be, you know?
Right.
Right.
Who knows? Everyone seems to be restless right now, right? What goals have you set for yourself during this COVID pandemic crisis? To keep yourself mentally fit, mentally healthy, mentally strong? Have you set any goals or changed your lifestyles to sort of adapt to what's currently going on?
Well, for me, I actually was contracted COVID early.
Really?
Yeah, I did. And
wow.
you know, living in New York, I think everybody. It was crazy, and the fact that I work within the hospital, I don't work directly in a facility, but I work for the corporate office. So, and I take public transportation every day. So that being said,
wow.
You know, going through that woke me up, honestly, because it got to the point where I see people, I'm sitting at home sick. I wasn't in a hospital, but I was sitting at home sick. And I'm looking at people that contracted the same virus I contracted, and they're dying, and I'm living. Right. So it was an eye opener for me. And so since then, I literally been getting up every morning, just going to walk, not so much just for physical, but for mental. Yes. When you see people that you know close to you or know of that passed away from it, it's an eye opener. Yeah. So my thing is right now just staying mentally functioning and physically functioning, but setting goals for myself past this, because me doing that gives me hope for another year and on. So, yeah.
How long did you have to deal with it?
Honestly, I remember the day I got it. It was March 27th. It was just like,
Wow.
oh, yeah, I remember.
Mm.
And because it just started with my chest felt like I was having a heart attack. I've never had a heart attack, but I thought that's what it was. I was like, oh my God, I'm about to die. Like, so, but I dealt with it all of April and a part of, and I would tell anybody, anybody can catch it. You can't tell where you caught it from. I could have caught it from any place. Like I said, being on public transportation, just being around people. So, and let me tell you, I was wearing my mask because working for a healthcare facility, we had to wear it.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's an eye opener. It definitely is. So I would say about a month and a half I dealt with it.
Wow, that's Black strength there. How about you, Ashlyn? What are you doing?
Right now at this point in my life, I'm really just trying to educate myself as much financially and just trying to become more financially literate, because over the few financial books that I've read, I've just really realized that he who has the gold makes the rules. So literally, like, the more money you have, the more rule, just the more power you have, from what the experts say. And it's just going to show that, that this world and society is just very manipulative, and basically, society judges you by your socioeconomic status, which is not right, and they should judge you by, the content of your character, as the great MLK said. Correct. So one thing that I'm trying to do is just continue to educate myself on all areas of life. And, just the COVID, in general, in my personal opinion, I just feel like this is, I think the society is really just trying to manipulate, the average American to the COVID, because a lot of people that have died from COVID, from the understanding is it's not just COVID by itself, because there could have been someone that have had other issues, but then they contract COVID, and all of a sudden it's COVID that caused it. And I personally don't believe that, because I just don't, because it makes no sense to me. It doesn't, so that's just
when they say that, the virus in itself is so devastating once it gets inside of you. It's just, it is out to kill whomever. And I can see your point of view is that, the people that are dying the most are the ones that have the underlying issues. Right. Yeah. Right. But when they get the COVID, that helps accelerate their death, which is sad, But the virus in itself, if you have to get a chance to read up on it, it is unbelievable. And I did some reading before this, is that, there's 8 different strands of this virus circling the globe. Just circling the globe from, and who knows of these strands, the effectiveness it's going to have on certain people or things like that. But for our community, it's really devastating right now. Yeah, it's really, really devastating, and it really shows how this government as a whole, I hate to say it, because it's affecting us in greater numbers. It's like we don't care, so to speak. That which is. Which is sad.
I'm gonna be honest with you. It is sad. I just want to say this, not to cut you off, but that's why I really believe Trump is not doing anything about it, because even though it is affecting white folks, but just because media put it out there that it's affecting Black and brown folks more, he doesn't care about it. So, he's not going to change that. And if it continues to keep being a quote unquote Black and brown issue, which we already know it's not. Other people are dying from this as well.
Exactly.
But he's not going to care if it does kill us or if it does sicken us. That's not going to change until November.
Yeah. Right. And that's the sad part about it, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like what do we do? Where do we go from here?
It's funding behind it, in my opinion, because
Yeah.
everyone that has died from it, according to my research, the government gets funding from that, and that is just pure wrong. So it's basically you're going to credit the COVID to anybody that has died, within a span of March to now, and all of a sudden it's COVID. So now you get funding. And I actually ran into a lady in my job. She was an older lady, maybe in her 60s or something. And the doctors were basically trying to get her to sign her rights over to where if anything happens to her, she couldn't sue.
Oh, wow.
So it was almost like they were trying to set her up for the kill, quote unquote. And I'm like, wow, is that what, doctors' offices and is that just what society is coming to where you're just trying to get rid of her for some money? It's ridiculous.
Yeah. That's just
sad times. It is.
Yes,
It's ridiculous.
It really is. It really is. In wrapping up the show here, are there any words of encouragement that you would like to provide our audience with?
Well,
just go ahead.
Go ahead, Ashley.
Oh no, I was just gonna say, just everyone take it one day at a time and just keep educating yourself. The more and more that you educate yourself, the better chance you have of just, giving yourself that mental strength and that mental power to, just to overcome any of the manipulation or the deception, that's trying to go on. Because one thing that society is going to do is just try to deceive you. So just keep educating yourself and just keep being positive and just control everything that you can control, and you'll be just fine.
Right. And Ashland, where can people find you on social media?
They can find me on Facebook at just Ashland Thomason. My Instagram is ashcatchthem_12, and those are my main two sites. So follow me on either one of those, and feel free to contact me, and let's have more discussion or dialogue.
Love it. All right, Latasha, what do you have to share?
Well, I just want to, tell people, stay positive. I know it's very dark right now in so many ways, but just to stay positive and get a relationship with God. I mean, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know what people, if it's God, if it's Allah, if it's Buddha, whoever you honor, but there's only one God, get in that relationship, stay out, meditate, if you got to do yoga, whatever, it does help. I used to sit up and people say, oh, do yoga. I'm like, I'm not doing that. And I say that because it gives you a time to be with yourself, and just stay really positive and focus on the future. If you continue to think about what's going on today, it gets to you. I know for me, it's like, okay, this is happening. I'm trying to plan for 2021. I'm getting my summer back in 2021. So just stay positive and think ahead. This too shall pass. This too shall pass.
Right. Amen.
And where can people find you on social media, Latasha?
I'm on Facebook. It's Latasha Never Give Up. That's my name on Facebook. And then I'm on Instagram on Tasha St. Louis.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much. It's been such a pleasure having you both. We will be in touch and let you know when this episode will be posted out. All the best.